Creative DIY garden decor ideas using recycled materials. Don't throw it away yet. Introduction. Transforming everyday discarded objects into beautiful garden decor is not only eco-friendly, it's an inspiring way to create charm and character in your outdoor space. With thoughtful styling, attention to texture, and intentional placement, recycled materials can be elevated into high-end garden statements that blend seamlessly into various design aesthetics.
Before we move on to the next video, make sure you give this one a thumbs up, share it with your favorite people, and subscribe to Leaf Lane channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming adventures. Thanks for being part of our journey.
Wine bottle torch lights add elegance and ambience to evening garden settings. By repurposing empty wine bottles as torches, filled with citronella oil and fitted with sleek copper tops, you create a sophisticated lighting solution. Position them along pathways, mounted on wooden posts or within gravel-filled crates to ground the design. The glass's reflective quality, especially in greens or deep ambers, complements earthy palettes while enhancing the warm flicker of firelight. Tin lanterns become rustic statement pieces when punched with patterns and painted in soft metallics like brushed gold, pewter, or matte black. Suspended from tree branches or hooks, they cast patterned shadows when lit from within by candles or solar lights. These lanterns work beautifully when paired with wooden fencing, stone walkways, and other raw textures to create a moody, vintage ambience. Broken chair planter transforms discarded furniture into a sculptural floral display. Removing the seat and replacing it with a planted bowl or moss-filled basket turns the chair into a charming garden focal point. Painted in distressed chalk finishes, like sage, duck egg blue, or antique white, it integrates seamlessly with cottage-style gardens, especially when surrounded by blooms and natural wood accents. Glass jar herb garden brings vertical green elegance to patios and balconies. Clear recycled jars mounted on reclaimed wood boards or suspended with rope allow herbs to float visually within the space. The transparency of the glass contrasts beautifully with dark foliage, and when positioned against a neutral wall, the jars reflect light and bring in a crisp, apothecary-inspired vibe. Old ladder plant display uses the linear form of a worn wooden ladder as a tiered shelf for potted plants. Leaned against a wall or fence and finished in a whitewash or matte charcoal paint, it brings verticality and rhythm to the garden. Varying pot sizes, trailing vines, and vintage watering cans complete the display, creating a cozy, layered look. Rustic window frame trellis reimagines antique window panes as a climbing structure for vines or decorative lighting. Left bare or lightly sanded, the frame brings architectural interest to bare fences or garden walls. When overlaid with ivy or fairy lights, it evokes a romantic, time-worn charm that pairs beautifully with brickwork, gravel paths, and cast iron furniture. Recycled tire flower bed makes a bold, sculptural impact when used as a low-profile planter. Painted in soft matte tones, like sage green, slate gray, or dusty rose, and stacked or set individually, tires can be filled with colorful blooms or textural grasses. Surround with white pebbles or mulch to elevate the look and integrate into a modern, structured garden layout. colander hanging basket adds a quirky, functional touch with vintage flair. Painted or left in its natural metal finish, a colander's perforations allow for excellent drainage and a subtle shadow play when hung from trees or pergolas. Fill with trailing flowers and hang at staggered heights above outdoor dining sets or benches for a layered, European cafe feel. Hallett Garden Wall provides a dramatic vertical display made entirely from reclaimed wood. Mounted onto a fence or exterior wall and painted in a soft matte hue, it becomes the perfect grid for planting herbs, succulents, or ferns in uniform rows. Paired with gravel flooring and minimalist furniture, this piece reads as both contemporary and nature-driven. Vintage Toolbox Planter brings nostalgic charm and compact styling to garden tables and shelves. With its metal or wood texture, aged hardware, and compact size, a toolbox makes a stylish container for low-growing succulents or moss arrangements. Place it on a bistro table, outdoor shelf, or potting bench, where its vintage appeal contrasts beautifully with modern lines. Upcycled shutter display adds architectural texture and function to plain walls. Mounting painted or distressed shutters behind potted arrangements or as a vertical backdrop for hanging tools and lanterns creates an intentional, curated aesthetic. The slatted design allows airflow and pattern, pairing especially well with farmhouse or coastal garden styles. Drawer planter boxes offer modular, layered display opportunities using reclaimed dresser drawers. Stacked in a staggered arrangement and painted in harmonizing tones, they form a multi-level planting feature ideal for floral or herb arrangements. Incorporating brass handles, vintage labels, or ceramic knobs adds detail and charm, especially when framed by a pergola or trellis. Chipped teacup succulent set transforms cracked or unmatched china into dainty, delicate planters. Perfect for tabletops, windowsills, or tucked between larger planters, each teacup adds a pop of personality and charm. Fill with tiny succulents or moss and nest them into wooden trays or vintage trays for added cohesion. Their glossy surfaces and floral patterns bring subtle elegance. Rain boot flower stands use old rubber boots as bold, freestanding planters. Painted in uniform pastel or monochrome tones, they line pathways or entry steps with cheerful structure. The upright form and glossy surface create rhythm and height, especially when filled with wildflowers or foliage in complementary hues. Mason jar fence vases create floating floral displays along wooden or metal fencing. Secure jars with metal bands or twine, filled with seasonal flowers or dried stems. When repeated in a row and filled with soft blooms, like baby's breath, cosmos, or eucalyptus, the design feels light, fresh, and highly intentional, enhancing the horizontal lines of your fence. Crate stack display uses wooden produce crates as flexible shelves or planters. Painted in soft neutrals or left raw, stacked crates work beautifully as a room divider, vertical garden, or plant theater. Combined with ceramic pots, woven baskets, and lanterns, this structure offers both visual balance and storage in rustic or boho-inspired layouts. Metal strainer candle holders reimagine old kitchenware into perforated lanterns that cast stunning light patterns. When sprayed in metallic finishes and paired with LED candles, they become sculptural lighting elements. Placed atop side tables or hanging under pergolas, these candle holders add intimacy and texture, pairing wonderfully with darker palettes and natural materials. License plate garden sign uses old plates to create directional or decorative signage. Cut or bent into banners and nailed to reclaimed wood posts, they offer a vintage industrial element. Their graphic lines and bold text add contrast to softer landscaping features and look striking against gravel paths, concrete patios, or wildflower beds. Conclusion. With a little creativity and thoughtful styling, recycled materials can become some of the most eye-catching features in your garden. Each piece, when chosen with care and integrated with purpose, enhances the space through contrast, texture, and story. It's not about what you throw away, but how you reimagine it to complement your outdoor sanctuary.